Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Schaeffer's Market Mashup. Hope everybody had a great 4th. Hope nobody's pets freaked out too much about the fireworks. Thanks again to everyone that tuned into last week's episode, especially considering who wants to stay inside on a holiday weekend and listen to me talk about stocks when the weather's this nice. It's been a week since we last talked, so what has gone down in the world of investing since Thursday? Whew. You know, for the first time in what feels like 6 months or 4 years, it was kind of a slow week. All the craziness that we've been dealing with, it seemed like kind of just a normal, smooth week. And it felt pretty good to have that kind of quietness. The Dow, S&P 500, and Nasdaq all locked in comfortable, modest weekly wins during the holiday shortened week. But it was the Nasdaq has just been on fire lately. We're talking no back-to-back losses since May 12th through and 13th, 5 record closes in the last 6 trading days. Tech-rich index is so hot right now. Even as of this recording, the Nasdaq is the only benchmark in the black. What else? Well, I have a weekly wear a mask message. As you've seen in the news, some states and counties, such as Hamilton County, Ohio, where Schaeffer's is based, are putting out mask mandates for indoors and outdoors in crowded areas. It's the right thing to do, folks. Wear a mask. Let's get this curve flattened. The Ivy League is already canceling fall sports, and there's rumors that other conferences were looking at this being the first domino for the rest of fall sports. So wear a mask. Let's get this thing back on track. We are off and running in July, but I did want to quickly call out some stocks that showed up on a list compiled by the ever reliable Schaeffer's senior quantitative analyst, Rocky White. Rocky compiled the 25 best and worst stocks on the S&P 500 in the last decade for July. A couple of interesting things that popped up on the best list. Alphabet, ticker GOOGL, which is the Google parent, boasted a 9.4% average win rate in the last 10 years, with 90% of those months positive. Not bad for the FANG name. Speaking of FANG names, you also have Apple, ticker AAPL, which boasted a 6% win rate in July and 90% of the returns positive. Looking at the rest of the stocks on the list, it's a pretty impressive spread of retailers, real estate, investment trusts, financial services, biotechs. There's no indication of what sector is stronger. But of course, context always matters. For example, Booking.com, ticker BKNG, is there, but they are not going to turn in a big July with most people staying home and travel stocks taking hard hits for the past 6 months. Moving over to the worst 25 stocks of July, we called this out last week. Gold stock Newmont, ticker NEM, boasts a 2.4% deficit for July with only 40% of its returns positive. Looking at the larger list, I saw 4 oil and gas producers, including Cabot Oil and Gas, ticker COG, and Apache, ticker APA, with a 3.1% deficit and a 40% win rate for July. Also found it interesting that there's just one retailer on there, and that's McKesson, ticker MCK, and they're a drug retailer. So I'm not even sure if that counts as far as a general retailer. We talked about in the first episode how we're going to establish some segments. I think it's time we do a vaccine segment because this is going to be an issue until we find one. And if anyone has a clever, snappy name for this segment, feel free to shoot me a message. But Novavax, mentioned them before, ticker NVAX, on Tuesday got $1.6 billion from the U.S. government to cover testing, commercialization, and manufacturing of its coronavirus vaccine. NVAX gained 31.6% that Tuesday. However, that did not create much going on in the option pits. No spikes, no interesting positions being opened up. Also part of Operation Warp Speed, which is the name for this funding program, was Regeneron Pharmaceuticals, ticker REGN, which got a cool $450 million from Warp Speed for its own antibody COVID-19 cocktail. REGN gained 2.2% on the news, and similar to Novavax, there wasn't much reaction going on in the options pits. It's almost as if we're past the news-sensitive stage for these biotech stocks when they have updates like that, and the only thing that will seemingly trigger a reaction in the options pits is a concrete pipeline update. Earlier this week, Walgreens Boots Alliance, ticker WBA, made an interesting foray into its pharmacy empire. They are partnering with VillageMD to set up 500 to 700 primary healthcare clinics in over 30 U.S. markets in the next 5 years. Walgreens will invest $1 billion in equity and convertible debt in VillageMD over the next 3 years. It says here that 80% will be used by VillageMD to fund the opening of the clinics. They will be co-located in these Walgreens stores and staffed by more than 3,600 primary care providers. I thought that was pretty cool. You can never have too many doctors around, and the ease of access of which that they're there and the prevalency of Walgreens everywhere in all corners of the country, it's definitely a positive. And, more is always better when it comes to healthcare. And it's definitely something to watch and see if rival CVS or Kroger, Walmart, anyone that has a stake in the pharmacy game, see if they follow suit with something similar. The day the news broke, Walgreens Boots Alliance, ticker WBA, gained 2.8%, and calls traded at double the average intraday amount. Leading the charge was the weekly July 10th 45 and 42.50 calls. So that's $45 and $42.50 as the strikes. On Tuesday, Walgreens was trading at $42.40, so buyers of those calls were eyeing more gains at the end of the week. However, a day later, Walgreens stepped into the earnings confessional, and the results weren't pretty. At last check, Walgreens was down 8% today, hit a 7-year low. Its third quarter earnings miss, suspended its buybacks. Its forward guidance was well below expectations. It was a unpleasant earnings trip. As a result, the weekly 7-10-39 strike put is now the most popular, with new positions being open today. So it's been a wild ride for options traders and Walgreens this week. First, they're piling on weekly calls, and then they saw those corporate results, jump ship, and targeted weekly puts. What a week for the pharmacy chain. Roller coaster. Another news segment that caught my eye, Walmart, ticker WMT, is launching its own member service to contend with Amazon Prime, complete with discounts, same-day deliveries on groceries, everything Prime offers, probably without Prime, the streaming service, Walmart is looking to compete with. They are pricing it a little cheaper than Prime's. Walmart's will come in at $98 a year compared to Amazon Prime's $119. However, I'm not sure, though, if Walmart's offering a monthly rate is different than the yearly rate. Nevertheless, Walmart gapped 6.7% higher the day of the news and cruising towards a comfortable 7% weekly win. At last check, for the entire week, calls were trading at 5 times the average intraday amount, with the weekly July 10th 1:30 strike calls popular. That 1:30 strike is also popular with the standard expiration coming in second place this week. So clearly, options traders are looking at this news of Walmart competing with Amazon and feel pretty good about it, which makes sense considering there aren't a lot of Amazon Prime competitors out there. Everyone competes against Amazon, but Prime has mostly gone untouched. So kudos to Walmart for stepping up to the plate. All right, folks, I think I'm going to cut it there. It's been a slow news week. Plus, there will be a quick turnaround on Monday or Tuesday where we will have our first guest. Woo! I don't want to spoil it, but he's a trader here at Schaeffer's who turned in a huge week of gains. And I've got him coming in to break down his Jordan-like performance, or LeBron, since this is Ohio. But until then, thanks for listening. Make sure to head over to schaeffersresearch.com, subscribe to our free newsletters that we have going on throughout the day. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you name it, we'll be there. 39th anniversary picks are out. And I will see you guys next week.